how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
What graduate program you made? Where did you make it?
So I graduated from Cal State Long Beach and I did a master's in counseling with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy. And they had two options. One was 2-year, one was 3-year. And so I did the 2-year program.
Did the program have an internship section? If yes, in what did you do?
So you did have to do you had to do an internship for 1 semester. And I ended up I worked with clients with severe mental illness just because I had never done anything like that before. So I was working at it was not a residential facility, but people did live there, but they could come and go as they pleased. So I worked with clients with severe mental illness.
In order to finish the graduate program, did you make a final test? If yes, what was the name?
I did. In my graduate program, you had the option of doing either a comprehensive exam, and if you didn't want to do that, then you could do a thesis. And so I ended up doing the comprehensive exam because I was working as well as going to school. So that's what I ended up doing, and it was just there wasn't any multiple choice. It was basically just some vignettes, and then you have to do a treatment plan and address crisis situations and all of those issues.
Under the graduate program, did you see a supervisor? Was it free or not?
I did have a supervisor at my internship, and it was free. Not everyone's was free. So it was basically like what you interviewed for and what you got chosen for. So mine was free. I didn't get paid for it, but it was free. And then I did that for the entire semester.
How was the process to become a licensed psychologist?
Going back to the other question, the last question that you just did.
Okay.
We also did, in my internship, we did a course where we did therapy with one of our professors as a supervisor. There was like a 2-way mirror. So we each had one client that would show up weekly for an entire semester. And so I guess I had 2 supervisors. One was at my internship and the other one was at the actual school.
Perfect. So how was the process to become a licensed psychologist?
For me, it didn't take that long to get licensed because I ended up getting a job at an agency. I had tried private practice and then I ended up doing agency work. So you have a lot of hours and a lot of clients, and it's a really good experience. So for me, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the population that I was working with.
Do you recommend me to choose a specific master program or a broad one?
I guess it depends on what you want to do. I think that every program is so different. In my program, you had to do a certain amount of hours of your own personal therapy. So I would look for a program that's more like that, where it's structured on not just you growing as, towards your goal of getting your licensure and getting your degree, but more as becoming like a well-rounded person.
Okay, thank you so much. And how long do your therapies last? How much is the cost for one session?
So I know a lot of therapists do different, they either do 50 minutes, which is the standard, or an hour. I do an hour because, I don't know, I just feel like gives the client the most amount of time, and there's just so much information to cover every time. So I do an hour and I charge $100 an hour.
Have you ever found yourself in situations that you don't know how to assist a patient? If yes, what did you do?
Of course, especially when I was doing my internship, I definitely experienced those situations. One time I was working with the clients with severe mental illness, and that was a really difficult situation. I was working with a client who had severe schizophrenia and started hallucinating, and so I had never experienced anything like that. And so I very calmly kind of walked the patient with me towards where my supervisor's office was, and I got my supervisor involved because I wasn't sure how to handle it. So another time was with a kid who had severe ADHD and just no impulse control, which was quite sad. And she was like running up and down the hallways and just completely out of control. Her mom didn't know what to do. So basically I just remained calm. My supervisor was in the building and knew about it, but just really remained calm and redirected her over and over until she finally listened, and then rewarded her and kind of used all of the tools that I knew to work with children.
What is your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment. I mean, I think at this point it's probably building my private practice to be successful within a year. So for me, that's my biggest accomplishment so far.
And where do you work?
So I have a private practice in Gainesville. I'm licensed in California and Florida. So I did my internship in California, which is different than Florida, where you have to have 3,000 hours supervised. And so I work now in Florida in Gainesville, and I have my private practice.
Thank you so much.
All right, so I am Molly Bryan, and I'm the 12th grade school counselor at PK Young, and this is our interview.
Okay, hello. What graduate program you made and where did you make it?
Sure, so I went to the University of Maryland in College Park, and I did 2 years in that program, and I graduated in 2016, and it was the school counseling program.
Did the program have an internship section? If yes, in what did you do?
Yes, so we had to intern at an elementary, a middle, and a high school. So I did, the first set of internships was 150 hours, and that was at a high school, and I had kind of the typical duties of a school counselor, but on a smaller scale because I wasn't fully finished with my program yet. And then my next two were 300 hours per semester at each internship, and I had a elementary school internship and a middle school. And kind of the same thing, typical like small groups and individual counseling, academic counseling was kind of my responsibilities.
Okay. In order to finish the graduate program, did you make a final test? If yes, what was the name?
Yeah, so we had to take, it was the CPCE, so it was kind of our program's final exam that the state also used, and we had to get a certain score on that test in order to get our degree given to us.
Okay. Under the graduate program, did you see a supervisor? Was it free or not?
So we actually had two. So we had our supervisor of the internship process through my school, and then at each internship site we had a site supervisor that signed off on our hours that we went to see every time we were there.
And it was free?
Yes, yeah. So they actually did the placements for us for our internships. So they gave us the placements and then gave us the supervisors. And so that was kind of the nice thing, is we didn't have to seek out our internship. So it was part of that program.
Nice.
Yes.
How was the process to become a licensed psychologist?
So school counseling is definitely process-wise really interesting. I would say it was stressful because with school counseling, you have to be licensed in every different state, and the states don't all have the same requirements. So what I did was I got certified in the state of Maryland, and then I had to reapply in the state of Florida to get a separate certification in Florida. So it's a little bit wonky with school counseling just because there's not one license that covers every.
Have you ever found yourself in situations that you don't know how to assist a patient?
I would say I've found situations where it's a very mental health focused issue, and a mental health focused issue beyond my knowledge of mental health, and so in that case I have referred that student to like a school psychologist or outside counseling.
Okay. What is your greatest accomplishment?
I think my biggest one was actually a group of kids that I had last year. So I took juniors that were at risk of not graduating and did a small group, and the way the group played out actually ended up being all African American males, which was not the plan at all. It just kind of happened that way. And those kids they did really well last year because of it, and then this year they have actually come off of my at-risk list because of the work we did last year. So I would say seeing them grow over the last 2 years and seeing now what they want to do for college and actually have goals for college has probably been one of my biggest success stories. So those kids.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Hello, Sarah. What graduate program you made? Where did you make it?
I have a master's and a specialist degree in school counseling, and I got it at the University of Florida.
How long it was?
So it was a 2-year program. It was 75 or 78 credit hours.
Did the program have an internship section? If yes, in what did you do?
Yes, I had to do 2 practicums, and then I had to do a full internship. The internship was like a 600-hour internship. So by the time I was out of school, I think I did 1,000 hours between both my practicums and my internship. I was at Eastside High School.
In order to finish the graduate program, did you make a final test? If yes, what was the name?
So we did do. So we did not have to do a thesis, but we did have to do a test. It has been so long that I could not tell you the name of that test. But yes, we did have a test that we had to take.
Under the graduate program, did you see a supervisor? Was it free or not?
Yes, I did have. I had a supervisor, and they saw me for free as part of my program.
How was the process to become a licensed psychologist?
So to get my certification, they wanted to see all of my coursework. I had to take the state exam for my specialization and pass that as well. And then the state verified all of my credentials, and I was issued my certification.
Do you recommend me to choose a specific master's programs or a broad one?
Well, I mean, it's nice if you have some opportunities within what you're doing. I was lucky that because I did a program that had other things attached to it, that I was able to take some other courses in some of those other programs. So if I wanted to go out and do like individual counseling out in the community, I have all the coursework that I could do that. I would still have to go and pay for the internship and stuff, but I was able to take those courses. So I have that flexibility, which was nice.
Where do you work?
I work at PK Young.
Have you ever found yourselves in situations that you don't know how to assist a patient? If yes, what did you do?
Sure, there are sometimes that kids will come up with situations or things will happen at home with them that I haven't run into before, and it's nice that I work in a situation that I have 3 other counselors that I can consult with in addition to my administration here. So if I am not sure what the right course of action is, I will absolutely just pull someone else in and consult with them.
What is your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment, I think being able to help kids succeed through high school and see that they have opportunities that maybe they didn't expect to have. So being able to let them see that college is a possibility if that wasn't something they really had in mind, or help them find that career path that they are going to go and be successful adults with.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.